And now, starting lineup for Halifax Mooseheads, in goal number 35, Jack Miller. We now ask that you please rise in your order to remove your headwear and join us for the playing of Old Canada. Old Canada, our old and native land, to pay to love in all of us command. Quand on a s'est porté la paix, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants vêtements.
Well, here we go. The 140-day wait is over. We are back at it already, folks. It's time for some August hockey. Hello, Moose Country. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the official YouTube channel of the Halifax Mooseheads. My name is Garrett McDonald. Pleased to be joined here by Scott McIntosh, Mooseheads Media Relations and Communications Manager. We want to welcome you here to Mooseheads Training Camp presented by Good Life Fitness. Scotty, these two teams, they were at it last night. Tough loss for the Mooseheads to kick off the preseason, falling 3-1 last night at member 2. But some different looks here to the preseason lineup tonight for the Mooseheads, including their first round pick, who's out here to start things off.
That's right. Danny Walters out to take the opening draw here in front of some family and friends. Pretty big summer for Danny.
No doubt about that. 11th overall, the Mooseheads selecting Danny Walters in the last draft. First Nova Scotia to go in the Q draft in Moncton back in June. As we are underway here at the RBC Center, the training facility of the Mooseheads. Jordan Shaw call up a free agent invite from Kensington here to dump the puck down into the Cape Breton end. Walters after a quick centering feed out front. An early opportunity here for the Mooseheads. And Brandon Lavoie has got to be sharp early.
Absolutely. You can see that work from Nazardine in the corner. These two, Danny Walters and Alec Nazardine, working really well together so far in camp since it started on the weekend. Played together in those inter-squad games. He gets the puck out from the corner here and gets it to Walters, who sets things up for Shaw, and a pretty good chance.
Now when it comes to Danny Walters, he's going to drag you into the fight. Great season last year with the Halifax McDonald's. His line mate Jacob Hartland here this evening in the Cape Breton lineup as the Eagles would force it down to the Mooseheads end. Brodeur handing that one off, worked up ahead here to one of the veterans for the Mooseheads, Antoine Fontaine, and he gets stood up there as he tries to make his way into Cape Breton territory. Morissette here for the Eagles, getting pressed by Kalen Blake, the second player drafted by the Mooseheads in the last draft, and Blake behind the net with it. And work it out front. He's going to get worked over down here in the corner. Some support from Fontaine, trying to center it out front. That went off the paddle of the netminder, and Blake with an opportunity there, and the Moose with another chance in front, but Blake getting a little cheeky around the net.
Thinking about that lacrosse style move, didn't quite work out for him.
Antoine Fontaine will launch one down there toward the netminder as Lavoie sends it aside. Blake back after it out front. Suds lets a shot go. That one ripped right on it. A save there for Lavoie. Back now to Suds up top. He's going to dish that one off. Played down with a corner by Jamison George. Saw some action last year with the Mooseheads. 2023 draft pick, and Such will work it back over now for the Rothsay New Brunswick native, directing it toward the net, and it'll be snatched out of midair by Lavoie, who hangs on to it here.
Yeah, nice to see Kalen Blake and Emilio Santini in action there, the second line that was out there today. They get a lot of things going on offense. They're the second and third players taken by the Mooseheads in this past draft, all three coming via that Matthew Cataford trade to Rimouski.
Emilio Santini out of the Lac St. Louis program, and we've got a lot of experience with that program here in Halifax.
Absolutely. You've seen a lot of those players come through in recent years. Marcus Vidicek, Jordan Dumais, and many others.
Another Lac St. Louis line out there right now wearing Vidicek's former Mooseheads number 6, and that's Patrick McNabb. We're going to get our first penalty here of this preseason matchup.
Yeah, looks like the Moose going to the power play. Potential hit to the head on Hope.
Yarmouth native Sam Hope making his way off to the penalty box, and Mooseheads will get an opportunity here in the power play. Moose 0 for 1 on the man advantage last night in that first preseason game. Again, a 3-1 loss to the Cape Breton Eagles in member 2.
Let's see what this the new regime has in store for the power play. Andrew Lord, the new head coach, of course, running the forwards and the power play as well.
Eddie Doyle with it here at the line. He'll hand off to McKenzie. Dominic McKenzie back to Doyle. He'll walk in, rips one there, and that one deflecting out of play, and we'll get a whistle.
Big Eddie Doyle, a guy you can probably expect to see on the roster this year. One that's highly regarded by the team. Picked a couple of seasons ago and saw a little bit of action with the Mooseheads. They really love the product out of the Kensington program, and PEI is a big defenseman. Steady Eddie, we're going to call him, and he's a good one.
Steady Eddie has certainly put on some size there since being drafted. Quick pass. He looks trying to get that feed down there for Welsh, and didn't quite get what he wants on it. Puck forced back down into the Halifax end of the rink, but Eddie Doyle, I think 5'11", 148 when he was drafted, up to 6'3", 178 right now. So he's put on some size. Doesn't turn 17 until November. It's going to be worked back now to a Tignish PEI native. He'll hand it off to McKenzie, back to Doyle. And Doyle putting one right on. McNabb the post up and apply a screen in front, but Lavoie makes the save, and he's going to hang on to it.
Another player on that top line, Jordan Shaw, a teammate of Eddie Doyle there, and with the Kensington Wild, and a player to maybe keep an eye on. I think he's turning some heads in terms of the scouting and coaching staff here, and playing his second game here tonight. So I think he's starting to make a name for himself.
A free agent invite, perhaps a bit of a dark horse here. Again, the only free agent invite in the lineup tonight for the Mooseheads. Justin Breton with it at the line. He'll hand off now for Cade Moser. Moser going to come back here for a second season. Spent last year in a depth role. Time on the fourth line there for Moser. It's chip in 5 goals in that rookie season with the Mooseheads.
Yeah, he had a nice scoring touch for the amount of minutes he played.
Yeah, LaPlante making his way, and he'll snap one on, and that one denied by Lavoie. Matthias LaPlante, chippy during the training camp there, and had the only Mooseheads goal last night, and he lost to Cape Breton.
He's not afraid to get physical and get in the mix. He saw a couple of fights, him and Cole Bent, during the inter-squad action, so LaPlante, not going to shy away from that rough stuff.
Boy back there in the back end for the Mooseheads. Berdor trying to work that one up ahead for Moser, not quite connecting, and the Eagles will force it back down here toward Jack Milner, and Milner will hang on to it with 5 seconds left now on that power play. Jack Milner, a former Cape Breton West Islander, and their former Cape Breton West Islander, I guess playing pretty well last night in goal for the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. Raya Stewart, that story continues. I believe she was 11 for 11 and just stymied the Moose, really, kept them at bay there in the final period. She played an excellent game, and it's just kind of fun to watch that story unfold. Here maybe she's, kind of looking for a place to play potentially this year while, waiting to go to University of Wisconsin.
Top line back out here now for the Mooseheads. Danny Walters will take this face off and right off that draw, kind of pushing it past Derek Andrews. And Azardine in possession here for the Herd. Azardine will move it to Shaw, work Back toward the line, Sud shot. That was blocked. That one at the pads of Cartland, and he'll force it down toward Milner. That one knocked aside. This puck here in the corner. Sud's after. The pass up the middle, and that's going to be gathered up now by Shaw. He'll sweep it over here for Danny Walters. Coming in down the wing, trying to get a feed through for Nazardine, but his teammate and former line mate with the Halifax Max getting a stick on it, Jacob Hartland. Nazardine will pull up down to the corner now. Takes a look, sends this one up top to McKenzie, lets the shot go and knocked aside as Eddie Doyle will pinch it. Played down low here for Santini. McKenzie, a little poke there for Fontaine. Back to Doyle. Doyle shot, can't get that one through Hartland. And Hartland will shovel it off the glass and out, and McKenzie will track it back down here in the Halifax end.
McKenzie, returning player, another one that we might see, fighting for a job. Not to say that he is. It's just, there's in a rebuilding season, you never know if your job is 100% secure. So you want to see some good things from Dom and some of these other returning vets as well.
I think that would be the case for Cade Moser, Antoine Fontaine. These are guys that got Q experience. The coaching staff, scouting staff, management, I'm sure they want to see them kind of set themselves apart here. You don't want to blend into a game like this. You look at the Cape Breton lineup, got a lot of young guys, a lot of free agents, and a lot of really young players on that side. I think good opportunity here tonight for the Mooseheads. Bit of a deeper lineup than last night, so chance for some of those guys with that veteran experience to showcase just what they've got and what they hope to bring back here in a season 2.
Exactly. Now's the time to shine. You can stand out in a game like this and make something happen every shift.
So McNabb in here to take this face-off, and he's going to win that one. Will be sent around now as the Moose look to work it out. Verdure with a little poke at it there. It's going to be knocked up ahead. Welsh trying to feed that one. Over there for Olmedo. Olmedo, guy that kind of stepped up last night and played a pretty physical game there and membered to. He's a big body, big boy, and got in there pretty hard on the forecheck. Some solid straight line hockey from him.
Yeah, Olmedo, like you said, a big boy, 6'2", 185. One of the things this team needs is size, and they got that in Olmedo at the draft.
Walsh will carry this one up ahead now for the Herd. He's going to dish it up there. It's deflected up and over as Olmedo tried to put one on. Riley Creelman steer that one up for Croswell. Worked out to neutralize there for Hope. Had Sud step up on him and knock it away. And McNabb right back in here down the left wing side. Stripped away, and there's a solid hit from LaPlante as he laid the body on Croswell.
There's exactly what we were talking about a little earlier. LaPlante likes that rough stuff, not going to shy away.
Looks like Croswell earning an invitation here. A few games last year in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League for Hearst. That puck carried across the line by Breton. That's going to be an offside call here on the Mooseheads, so we get a whistle with 12:54 left. Shots on goal right now, 9-2 in favor of the Moose.
Yeah, it's been a good start for the Moose. You see Justin Breton just offside there. Third camp with the Herd after being drafted a few seasons ago. Another guy that's has worked himself into the mix. He's playing this game for a reason, and eyes are on him right now, so tonight might be the night for him to do something special.
Jamison George backing up. He will hand off there to Suds. Suds a Sydney boy himself, but did play last year with the Halifax McDonald's in the Nova Scotia U18 Major Hockey League, the Max champions in Nova Scotia last year.
Moose with 3 max picks in Walters, Suds, and Logan Truen, who was in the game this evening as well. I see head coach Tim Boyce in attendance tonight, no doubt, keeping a close eye on those guys.
Sent out to neutralize here, Owen Bell. Free agent invite from the Cape Breton West Islanders. Andy Ganesh native, he's going to take this one for a dash, making his way down the right wing side and pressed down there in the corner by Doyle. Doyle gets a little bit of support as Breton sends that one around. Shaw battling along the boards now as past the 8-minute mark of this first period. Doyle back on it. He's going to slow things down. Doyle very complimentary of his teammates in Kensington. When I talked to him during some of those call-up games back with the Mooseheads last year, got into 6 games for the Herd, piled up a ton of points in that New Brunswick PEI U18 league. And a lot of talent in that Kensington team. They were champions in Atlantic Canada, earned an invitation, obviously, get to represent the region at the TELUS Cup. And was held right here in Atlantic Canada, number 2. Then lets a shot go. That one deflected. The jump ball there and a little scramble down around Milner's crease. It's knocked back to the point. A shot from Waugh. That one sent wide of the net. Centering effort out front off his stick. Doyle will track it down now in the corner. He'll play it up that right wing side to Shaw. Mooseheads will try to regroup here quickly as McKenzie is going to take a look. Lays it up ahead there for Danny Walters. Driving in, slows up, creates a little bit of space. Walters still on it. It's tripped up there. Andrews looking to pick that up in the corner for Cape Breton. That one rimmed around Azardine. To force a turnover, unable to do so, and that'll be dumped in by Morissette. Milner touching that one at Brodeur back. He was going to get control, and it's going to be played out to center ice.
Walters with a nice rush again there. Fans not familiar with this game might, don't expect this kid to come in and score 30 goals right away, but I can tell you he's a mean customer, and that's what a lot of people like about his game. He doesn't back down from anybody as well, and he goes out there looking to make things happen physically. So he's going to be a fun player to watch and instantly a fan favorite, I think.
Showcase that scoring touch as well here during the training camp so far. Some of those inter-squad games.
Absolutely.
Not a nice guy to try to battle with in front of the net, that's for sure. Hope will fire one on.
He plays bigger than 16 years old, I'll tell you that.
No doubt about it. And I think when you're, in the midst of embarking on that rebuild, you certainly want to. I think any rebuild, it's got to start with a good, strong culture. And this guy just oozes leadership and oozes that. And I think it's exactly the kind of piece, the kind of player you want to build. You want to start that rebuild around. So.
Exactly. Sam and Peter Simon have made that explicitly clear, the character rebuild. This is a complete reset here in terms of the culture. Andrew Lord as well exudes that ability. So things are looking bright.
Roswell now gets pressed down there by Suds. Loose puck back of the net. That one shoveled around here by George. Luke McCackern will keep that one in at the right point. Good Port Hood boy.
You'd know, wouldn't you?
Led the Nova Scotia U18 Major League last year in assists. 34 apples for the Cape Breton West Islanders in the backhand for Luke McCackern. Free agent invite. And that's
any relation?
There's a relation there. This one carried up ahead. That one launched on goal by the Mooseheads. And that'll be stopped by Lavoie. He hangs on after that shot from Olmedo.
Get really intrigued with Olmedo. Is one of those young kids that comes in and from a really good draft for the Moose. Like I said earlier, they garnered those 3 picks, trading away MVP Matthew Catafor. Lots of changes on the ice for the Moose this season. Gone are Dumais and Furlong to the American Hockey League. Catafor gone. Marcus Vidicek and Dylan McKinnon off to the Moncton Wildcats. We can get into that more later, but this is a retooling year for certain.
Eagles on the attack. Now there's a shot from Grady Burns, not to be confused with the former St. John Sea Dog. Grady Burns last year playing with the Northern Moose in that New Brunswick PEI U18 League. McKenzie on it out here at neutral ice. Will try to make his way up quickly and just launches that one in. Lavoie out to play it. He'll rim it around. Bell there to knock it down and work it up ahead. And there's some physical play from Cade Moser out at neutral ice.
I love to see that from Cade. He's got to show that he's a bit of a Swiss Army knife for this team. He'll probably slot in that third line, something around there. And he's got some scoring ability, and he can do other things as well. So good to see from Cade.
Brodeur rims it around. Walters lets that one go for Nazardine. He'll still steer it down toward the corner. And Walters getting physical down there in the corner. Nazardine going to sweep it there for Shaw. Knocked toward the corner wall. Walters after it. Rips one that's off the outside of the netting. Walters back on it now, trying to work it toward the point. Brodeur going to send it right back down the boards. That one knocked down by Riley Creelman. It's going to be dumped down into Mooseheads territory, and that will be collected down there in the corner by Brodeur.
Big Colin Brodeur, heaviest guy in camp at 222 pounds.
He is a big lad. Walters to Nazardine, rips one. Just sent up and over. Like Nazardine, and he's been clicking here with Danny Walters so far. And a couple of guys that there's some chippy stuff down in the corner. His tripped off was Jamison George. He went in a little awkwardly, and That will draw some attention.
Yeah, that could have been worse than it ended up being. Luckily for George, was able to collect himself just in time, and of course, Danny Walters right into the mix there.
That is not a surprise, that's for sure. It was Foley with a bump on George, sends him awkwardly into the boards, and that'll send Luke Foley to the penalty box. Foley, a second-round pick back in 2023, the Eagles.
George also heading off, so it'll be perhaps an extra 2 for Cape Breton.
So George heading to sit. 2 minutes on the board right now. Mooseheads. Well, it looks like we'll have some 5-on-5 hockey here. So the penalties have now been taken off the board, and Eagles will control off of this faceoff. That shot off of Fontaine out to neutral ice. It's going to be Quinn on it at his own blue line. For this one to Malcolm McDonald. McDonald tracking back into his own end. He's getting pressed, though, by Santini, causing some problems, and that puck will roll into where Brandon Lavoie, and he's going to hang on to it.
You know that Emilio Santini, Kalen Blake, Danny Walters, all ranked in the first round by the Mooseheads on their own draft board. So they're pretty pleased to get all 3 of those guys with their top 3 picks in the first, second, and third round. Santini, just a strong, not a tall guy, but he's really hard on the puck, and they're really, really high on this kid.
Well, I think we've seen some high-end skill on display for both guys, especially Kalen Blake, who was just tearing it up there.
Beautiful hands.
Some of those inter-squad games, absolutely. He's got the scoring touch, no doubt about it. So the Moose, they were able to get him in the second round, took him 34th overall. Again, a guy that right now certainly does appear to be a guy with first-round skill.
Exactly, and that's what they're hoping for. This team's going to need goals. A lot have disappeared off this roster, and going to need some guys that can put it in the back of the net.
The draw, Santini lets that one go. Blake battles along the half wall there. That one will pop free. McDonald will to the back of the net now for Quinn. Directed out to neutral ice. McKenzie will move it quickly. Eagles are back in possession, though. And Lincoln Waugh out at neutral ice, knocking it over to McDonald, who sweeps it in. And Eddie Doyle to play it off the end boards for McKenzie. McKenzie will get bumped down there. His start on the forecheck was Maverick Duhaime. Sherbrooke, Quebec native. The battle down here in the corner. It's going to be knocked toward the point and shot through a bit of traffic in front. And Milner getting a piece of that one with the pad. It's going to be carried up ahead now by Kalen Blake. And Blake played pretty well there by Lincoln Waugh. The past couple of seasons, I should say. He's had some experience with the Eagles. 23 games over the last couple of years for Lincoln Waugh. Hope back up ice now for the Eagles, and he's played hard there by Brodeur. Blake will take it back the other way. Forces that one across the line. Creelman will hand it off. As the Eagles are back in possession, and McNabb gets physical down there as well. Riley Creelman across center. He'll just dump that one in. Tracked down now by Logan Trewin. Taken pretty early by the Mooseheads in that last draft as well. Another Halifax Mac. Almeida down toward the corner. Back of the net. So the Moose trying to go to work. Work back toward the right point. There's a shot. That one ripped right on. It's McKenzie. Threw it toward the goal. Pad save for Lavoie. McKenzie back on it. Out at neutral ice. Will shovel it back in deep with 5:14 remaining here in this first period. Pretty
good shift for Patrick McNabb, I think. And that's one of those guys that can really work his way potentially onto this roster by the end of camp. So one to keep an eye on.
Didn't exactly pile up a ton of points last year with Lac St. Louis, 11 goals, 26 points in 41 games, but does play a pretty solid two-way game. Defensive instincts for Patrick McNabb. A little bit of physicality there as well as the Mooseheads look to transition up ice. It's Breton moving it now for Moser as he accelerates down the left wing, slowing up. Will pop out. A shot there from Trewin. That was off some shin pads and out to neutral ice. Knocked in by Griffin. Griffin and Doyle will battle. Doyle getting that one over to Andrews. And, shot it tight. They score as the Eagles will strike first. Cape Breton making it a 1-0 hockey game here with 4:27 left. And looks like it's going to be teammate there of Eddie Doyle. It's Derek Andrews getting the scoring started in this one.
That's right. He just kind of pops on that loose puck in front of the net and right up and under the bar, puts it over the shoulder of Jack Milner. And Milner, a familiar face, one of the few familiar faces we're seeing tonight. Of course, Mathis Rousseau, his counterpart in goal, not around yet, going to be at NHL rookie camp, along with Jan Sprinar, another player we haven't seen yet in camp too. He's playing in that Five Nations tournament with Czechia.
Sprinar piled up a ton of goals his first year with Rimouski. Saw the production. It was a little tougher to come by in the first half of the year, but as the season moved along, kind of found that scoring touch again with the Mooseheads. 11 goals for them after being acquired from Shawinigan.
Yeah, he fit in well with the Moose, and hope that continues. He'll form the Euro tandem, him and Carlos Handel, who's not in the game tonight, but we're very excited to see him. Looks like the real deal on that back end when we watch him in inter-squad action, just skates so smoothly, head up, sees the ice clearly, and really excited to see him in game action here in a Moose uniform.
Pretty good for Germany at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup as well.
Yeah, unreal coast-to-coast goal as well. We shared that on social media. Looking forward to more of that happening here in Halifax.
So Danny Walters is going to make his way off to the penalty box right now, and the Eagles will have an opportunity here on the man advantage. Had a couple of chances last night in member 2 in that 3-1 win over the Mooseheads, unable to convert.
Chance to tie things up here would be great. Big summer for Cape Breton. Hey, they're going to have a great year, the Eagles. They are loaded with talent. A lot of those players not in the lineup tonight. We'll talk about the massive trade they made with Quebec as well.
Yeah, they certainly have all kinds of weapons. It will be tough. Moncton Wildcats, I think, will be pretty tough as well. A lot of talent on that team. Joe Corto Trophy could be on its way back to the Maritimes this year. Eagles will force it down at the Moose territory. Fontaine on it, down low. He'll look to get going now here shorthanded. Carries this one up ahead. That's a shot, goes sent wide. Antoine Fontaine back on it. Kind of lost the handle there. That one got away from him. Here for Fontaine last year, coming off a season in which he led the Quebec U18 league in scoring. There's 3 helpers last year for Antoine Fontaine in 54 games. That goal a little elusive for him, and there's a shot. They score. That's Grady Burns. Looking like Grady Burns with that sniper.
That was a nice shot.
Picks his spot on Jack Milner, and the Eagles making it 2-0 here with 2:44 left in this opening frame.
Great release from Burns on that one. Just beat Milner clean with a hard shot. See it coming up here. Just a beautiful pick. Maybe a little bit of a screen there in front of Milner, but beat him cleanly. That's a nice one for a guy trying to crack a roster here for Cape Breton.
4 goals, 10 points in 35 games last year with the Northern Moose. Grady Burns, McNabb will pull that one back. It's going to get past Brodeur. She'll have that track back after as he gets pressed. Welsh now will slip it out to neutral ice, and it's collected there by McNabb. He'll knock it off the boards and try to head after it. A little bit of chippy stuff down there in the corner as McNabb was after it. We're going to get an interference call after that exchange. So the Moose have a chance to try to answer back here with time ticking down in this first period.
Yeah, alluded to that big trade Cape Breton made on draft weekend. Of course, they sent the #1 overall pick to the Quebec Rempart, who then took Maddox Desjardins, who was, the consensus #1. That resulted in 2 first-rounders, a second and 17-year-old goalie Luca Connolly. They used one of those draft picks to take skilled center Roman L'Italien 4th overall. So a player that's very much in the mix in the future in Cape Breton.
Walked up down into the Halifax end of the rink. Milner will stab that one over now for Brodeur. Move it to McNabb. Now taking his time now. 22 seconds having ticked off this Mooseheads power play. Pass sent rink wide there. Truin looking for Olmedo. He'll dish it off to McNabb, and he can't quite handle that pass as that puck will get launched off the boards by Duhaime. Looking to clear it. Getting physical there along the boards, but the Eagles are able to launch it out. Milner will just stop it. He's going to leave it back there. Slowing things down is Gavin Sudds as he works it up that right wing side. And late offside here for the Moose. LaPlante unable to touch that one. The Eagles will again clear it out. Jamison George can't get his pass through. That was off the skate of Malcolm McDonald. McDonald will Send it back here for Luke McCackern, and McCackern will shovel it out to neutralize. Knocked down there by Suds. McDonald sends that one back. Good PK thus far for the Eagles. Moose not generating much of anything on this power play.
Yeah, not much going there on that PP for the Herd so far. Lots to work on for head coach Andrew Lord, but it's early, very early.
There's a turnover. Andrews will make his way in. Quick pass and a big save by Milner. Gets across to make a massive save right there. What a stop.
Those are the ones that get the fans on their feet. Great save. Best one of the night so far for either goalie.
Jack Milner with tough start, I'd say, to his Q career last year. Look back to those first few starts in September, October. Really kind of found this group, though, once Mathis Rousseau went off to World Junior Camp and really got dialed in. I mean, his numbers at the end of the year just off the charts. I think he had a stretch there, right about a 7-8 game stretch with a save percentage around .930. He was just outstanding for the Mooseheads. And excited to see what he can do here in his second season.
Absolutely. He really turned it up a notch there, and it was all playing time and consistency for him getting between the pipes, and showed what he's capable of, and solidified the Mooseheads' minds that he is the guy to be the backup once again to Mathis Rousseau.
Well, tough first period for the Mooseheads. Derek Andrews and Grady Burns have got the goals for the Eagles. They've got Cape Breton on top 2-0 here through 20. We'll take a little bit of a break and we'll be back with you for the second period. Stick around for that. You're listening to and watching the Mooseheads training camp presented by Good Life Fitness right here on the official YouTube channel of the Halifax Mooseheads. Welcome back, Moose Country. Garrett McDonald, Scott McIntosh back with you here for the second period. Mooseheads taking on the Cape Breton Eagles here tonight. Cape Breton carrying a 2-0 lead into the second period thanks to goals from Derek Andrews and Grady Burns. Scott, Moose with a solid start there. Eagles kind of turning it on. I think at one point we said the shots were about 9-2 for the Mooseheads. 10-9 for Halifax through 20.
Yeah, absolutely. Eagles certainly turned it up in the later stages of that first period. One goal probably. Milner might like to have that one back from Burns that beat him clean. Other than that, not a bad period overall.
Alec Nazardine trying to get physical down there, but the Eagles are able to play it out, and Bell will take this one up ice. He's going to look rink wide there, and the pass not quite connecting for him. Well, after it'll get roughed up down the corner by Walters. Walters moved it for Nazardine, and it's going to be sent rink wide. It's jumping up to the play. It's McKenzie. McKenzie trying to sweep that one over there for Shaw, and he can't quite corral it. And the carry back up ice in transition here by Griffin, looking to leave it for Bell. Bell had it knocked off of his stick, poked out by Santini, and Fontaine off to the races down the right wing side. Lets a shot go, and that one off the mark. Foley just leave that one for Derek Andrews, making his way up ice, and he's played hard there by Colin Brodeur using that big frame.
Yeah, pushed him right off the puck and changed possession for the Mooseheads, so that's what Brodeur is good at.
Yeah, Brodeur wants to crack this Mooseheads roster. That's exactly what he's got to do. Use that big body. Fontaine will shovel one over here for Truin, and Truin will launch it wide. It's Brodeur hustling to try to keep it in, but that one will roll out to neutral ice. Moose trying to tag up here as Foley looks to knock it across the line, but that one punched in offside. And a whistle and stoppage with a minute 36 gone in the second period. Again, the Eagles up 2-0 goals in the first from Derek Andrews and Grady Burns.
Talked about some of the big names that have moved on for the Mooseheads this year, and Dumais, Furlong, Vidicek, McKinnon, and Catafor. Of course, some graduated overagers that fans might know and love. David Moravets, he's going to play pro in Czechia this year. Peter Reynolds back in his hometown playing for UNB. No announcement from Lou Felix Denis about his hockey future, and we did hear the tragic news this summer that his father had passed away in June, so our love and condolences going out to Lou Felix and his family and loved ones, and very sorry to hear that news.
Certainly very sorry, as you said. Condolences to Lou Felix and the entire Denis family. Liam Welsh will throw one toward the net. A puck stopped there and held on to by the Eagles netminder Lavoie. Get an offensive zone faceoff coming up here for the Mooseheads.
Some of the storylines to watch this year for the Moose. So you think Liam Kilfoyle, big summer for him, coming off a gold medal performance at the Hlinka Gretzky tournament U18. He shone there, had a goal in the gold medal game. Almost stood up as the game winner until they allowed an empty netter. So Caleb Denoye from the Moncton Wildcats ended up getting the winner. But Kilfoyle is going to take that next step forward and be a key focal point for this Mooseheads offense.
And again, I think you look back to that first round sweep at the hands of the Acadie Bathurst Titan, and not a lot of bright spots there for the Mooseheads whatsoever. An ugly sweep, an ugly loss, but I would say if there is one silver lining, I think it would be the play of Liam Kilfoyle, who was solid. Moose, the offense, it was a big-time struggle, to put it lightly, but he did chip in 3 goals during that 4-game series at Bathurst last spring.
He was the offense, plain and simple, in that short series. Really disappointing ending to that season. Took some time for everyone on the team to kind of get over, because it did not go nearly the way it was planned to go last season, and that has resulted in some big-time changes. It's time to rebuild, time to retool, and that starts with the coaching staff. You've got Andrew Lord there, like I said, and just going with the 2-man staff. Brad McKenzie promoted to associate coach. Sometimes fewer voices might be, a little helpful. Lord is used to running kind of the whole show in the East Coast Hockey League, where he was the coach of the year as well, and he's happy with what's surrounded him here in Halifax with the coaching staff. Joey Perricone has moved on as well. Decided to move the family back to his home, Southern California. He was the video and goalie coach here for quite a few years. We've got Chuck Grant, a really qualified guy, coming in as the goalie coach, the goalie development coach with the Pittsburgh Penguins for a while. Worked with these Cape Breton Eagles, well known. Played NCAA hockey. Morgan McDonald has joined as the video coach full time, and it's a great staff. It's a fresh start for everyone.
Great staff for sure. And for me, Scotty, that great staff, it starts with you. You're still doing a bang-up job. There's a quick pass.
Thanks,
And a shot for Breton. Rebound, they score. And that is goals now, and back-to-back nights for Memphis LaPlante. They had the only goal last night. Right back on the score sheet here tonight as he will cut that Eagles lead in half.
Quick hands for LaPlante in front of the net, and hey, if you're looking to make a roster, getting on the score sheet 2 games in a row doesn't hurt.
10th round pick of the Mooseheads back in 2022. This is LaPlante's 3rd crack at it here as he looks to earn a spot on this Mooseheads roster.
Yeah, and they've liked him every camp he's been at, and he's only going to get better and bigger and stronger, and he's certainly making himself known so far in the preseason.
Riley Creelman worked that one up the right side. It's sent rink wide. And that one coughed up as Breton got in there. Justin Breton, another player that was taken by the Mooseheads back in 2022. He's been a familiar name here, familiar face in the last few camps as well. 9th round pick a few years back. And again, like LaPlante, his 3rd camp, is LaPlante looking for more. Let's one rip and got a play as Brown got in the way.
Yeah, Breton not going away in terms of showing up and giving it his full effort, and maybe this is the year that he sneaks his way onto the team. You never know. There's spots up for battle. This is the first time that Andrew Lord has seen any of these players, so first impressions mean a lot, and it's a fresh chance for a lot of these players who've been around a little while.
Guy that would kind of look for a 4th line type role, very defensive game, played junior A last year in Quebec. Danny Walters, he'll send it up top now. It's worked across for Truin. Truin back to Brodeur. Brodeur lobs one and it ends up wide. And we'll whistle and break in the action here with 15:52 remaining in this second period. Moose trailing 2-1. LaPlante again with his 2nd goal of the preseason.
Logan Truin out there now, number 17 on the blue line. Talked to Scout Ali McDonald the other day, who says he's going to be a great player in this league at some point, whether that's a year or so down the road when he makes this team, but they have high hopes for Truin.
Heartland trying to play it out to neutral ice. Moose quickly on it, and now with some speed comes Shad. Just avoiding some contact out there at neutral ice as he danced his way through. There's a shot from Brodeur and put a traffic in front. Shad with a poke at it. Walters will battle down there in the corner and roughs up Andrews pretty good down there.
Yeah, looks like might have got away with a little cross check there in the corner, but that's all right. Moose will take it.
Well, every shift, Danny Walters is going to try to take a little chunk out of you, that's for sure. As Moose look to get going down here in their own end, but Eagles on it. Puck poked toward the net, and that one knocked aside by Milner. Now gathered up back there. A bit of twisting and turning here as it's going to be shoveled out by Walters. Bouncing puck. That one kind of skipping over the stick of Mason Cook. Netminder Lavoie will play it out here for Duhaime, and Duhaime will make his way in down the left wing to center there, and McDonald poking it wide of the goal. That's Malcolm McDonald wearing the 61 that Cam McDonald wore last year. A shot that one redirecting. Milner roughed up in front, knocked over by McDonald. McDonald got knocked on his backside. Looks like the Mooseheads will have an opportunity here, and the power play as a result.
Yeah, Jamison George jumping right in there to back up his goalie Milner, who gets knocked into the back of the net. But hey, it's been a hot start to this period. There was a message sent clearly during the intermission. Moose out shooting the Eagles 6-1 at this point of the second period, and got a goal to show for it so far. Maybe they can add another one right here.
Justin Breton picking up the lone assist on this LaPlante goal that came 3:17 into the second period. Derek Andrews scored at 15:33 of the first period. Owen Bell and Carson Griffin had the helpers on his goal. Grady Burns then scoring at 17:16 of that opening frame. Jacob Hartland and Lincoln Waugh had the helpers. A power play opportunity right now for the Mooseheads. Dylan Blake on it. Blake taking this one down low, rounding the net. Slow and things down. He'll work it down over the corner for Welsh, trying to center it out front. That went off a stick. It's going to get chopped out here. Whacked the length of the ice by Lincoln Waugh. Jack Milner will Out to play it, and Milner got poked at. He got upended. Let it neutralize. Hope playing it back to Wah. Wah will fire one in. Milner out to stop it. Leaves it back of the goal and gets pressed. And now Milner, he got the stick down, and he wasn't happy. He felt he got tripped up last time he was out of the net. He's going to haul down Jacob Pino right there, and it's going to result in a little bit of 4-on-4 action for the next minute 27.
And an adventurous couple of minutes for Jack Milner as he's in the mix a few times there, and takes out his revenge a little bit along the boards.
Jack Milner finishing last year with an 11-10 3-1 record, .894 save percentage, and 319 goals against average. You can mention it, a real solid stretch there. I couldn't get that run support when Mathis Rousseau was away at that World Junior Camp, but again, the numbers, they were dazzling. McKenzie from a sharp angle knocks one right on, and another guy like Antoine Fontaine still looking for that first regular season goal in the queue.
I think it'll come earlier this year.
That would be a good bet. Unless this one gets knocked back to Duhaime. He'll hand it off to Creelman, knocked out of the corner. And McKenzie a little hesitant to pick that one up. Takes a bump down there for Maverick Duhaime. And now knocked up ahead, Fontaine making his way, and he'll just guide one down with a netminder, and that one held on to by Lavoie. And we'll have a face-off down in Eagles territory. 47 seconds left in that penalty to Malcolm McDonald. We've got a minute 20 left of the tripping call. Jack Milner, that penalty currently being served by Kalen Blake.
It's the start of a very long camp, Gareth. We're not going to see home ice hockey at Scotiabank Centre till October 4th. The team going to start on a road trip this year. The ice plant's being replaced at Scotiabank Centre. So, and starting with a couple of Quebec teams too. The Quebec Remparts home opener, and then the very next game will be Rimouski.
Puck sent down there toward Milner, and he had a hustle out of the net as he had Croswell barreling down on him, got a little stab at it. And not quite what the Mooseheads experienced back in 2018-2019 when they started with, it was 15 straight on the road that Memorial Cup hosting season, but still it's a healthy road trip to begin. Chance on the side of the net. Olmedo with a great opportunity, bouncing puck, and Lavoie was able to reach up and snatch that one out of midair after a couple of opportunities for the Herd.
Yeah, he made that look easier than it looked. He was got it closer than it looked like it could have been, because that was not an easy angle for Olmedo, but a good chance at the side of the net on that puck up in the air. Made them work for it anyway. The Mooseheads are that close to tying it today.
Boy, getting a little bit of help down there around the blue paint as well. There's defenders, just Kate Moser lines up against Foley, and he'll win that one. Still at 4-on-4, but just for the next couple of seconds here as Malcolm McDonald steps out of the penalty box. He'll head right to the bench. And in his place now, Derek Andrews. Andrews opening the scoring in this game. McKenzie fires one the length of the ice. Sets now on the PK. Just 15 seconds left on the Jack Milner tripping penalty. Jacob Hartland will gather that one up. Identical stats last year to Danny Walters. 9 goals, 27 points. This one will be slipped across to Lincoln Waugh. Waugh lets a shot go, ripped on. Milner gets a piece of it. Back to 5-a-side hockey as the penalty to the netminder expires. And McKenzie, a little reverse bump there. Laying the body on Hartland down to the corner. Knocks him on his backside. He's looking to break out. And McCachran taking a chop at that one. A little chunk of Kalen Blake as well. Blake will head off to the Mooseheads bench. 11:38 left here in the second period.
Got that shot coming right up into the face of Blake. Looked like Milner had a little trouble seeing that shot as well. Just got a piece of it to keep it a 2-1 game.
It was Lincoln Waugh letting that one go. As we said, Waugh, a little bit of experience over the last couple of seasons with the Eagles. 23 games over the last 2 years. Had 19 games last season. Pretty productive offensively. 15 points with Summerside in the Maritime Junior A League. That is neutralized. There's Carson Griffin with a little tug on Shaw. He'll go down, and got a penalty coming up now as Griffin makes his way up, and Jordan Shaw's going to draw that one. The Mooseheads will have a chance here on the power play.
Top line stays out to see what they can do here on the PP with Shaw, Walters, and Nazardine. We've got McKenzie. Well, now Cade Moser hopping over the boards. He's going to hop out here and just go with the 1D.
Walters with a chance right now. Some power play time for him. Nazardine sending it up top to McKenzie. McKenzie over to Moser. Moser playing it across here for Nazardine. To McKenzie. McKenzie taking a look. Surveys and defers back to Nazardine. And a battle down there in front of the net. And a whistle on this play as Danny Walters makes his way up to the penalty box. So that will do it on the power play.
Kind of tied up in front there. He didn't think so. He gave it a shake of the head as the ref called the penalty on the way to the box. But
that'll do it on the man advantage right now for the Moose. And once again, some 4-on-4 hockey. Moser lining up there against Grady Burns. There's Cook with a shot. Mason Cook, another Kensington product, throwing one toward the goal, punched aside. James and George in a battle down there in the corner. A tie up Bell. And Doyle will fish it free, and it's going to be knocked over here for Cade Moser. Moser will make his way up ice, handing it off now to Nazardine. Nazardine around in the Eagles' net. Alec Nazardine back to the point. There's a shot. Sudds trying to get one through. It was blocked. Sudds after the loose puck down here in the corner. The play went off the end boards, but that pass attempt intercepted. And Luke McCackern down there getting a piece of it. He forced it out across the blue line. Eagles will take their time now, slowing things down back in their own end. A pass up ahead here for Bell. And Brodeur controlling now for the Mooseheads. Over to Sudds. Picked up with some speed here by Breton. Breton going to drive his way in. Knocked back here for Brodeur at the line. McCackern will take a bump. Nazardine got in there in the forecheck. 9:47 left in the second period. Puck carried up ahead and played to Morissette. Morissette gets his way across the line. Played hard there by Brodeur. Brodeur coming away with the puck after that exchange. Up ahead here for Shaw. Shaw will take a little abuse out at center, but keeping with it. He's just about off to the races. Sudds backtracks and tries to fend off a couple of checks. Misfired there as Pino was on him. He's able to work it over to Breton now, but he can't handle the pass. Samuel Hope fishing that one off back in his own end. And now looking at transition up ice is Hope. On that left wing side, dropped off to Pino, lets a shot go off the blocker of Milner. That'll lead to a little battle down here behind the Mooseheads net. Pino taking a whack at it. Inching in. Roswell down toward the corner. There's a shot from Creelman, pardon me. Creelman putting that one on. Gloved by Milner, and he hangs on with 8:45 left in the second period.
Gareth, Mooseheads made a round of cuts this morning, down to 45 now at camp after 3 more players were let go. Thomas Cote, young forward, draft pick for the Moose this summer, along with Mikel Fournier, defenseman, and Thomas Lepant, big goaltender as well. All parts of the future. They were all drafted this past summer, and we'll get a chance to see them again next camp. They're released back to their regular teams, and wish them the best of luck this season. We see a goaltending change now as George Fody coming in for Jack Milner.
So Fody now in for Milner. This evening over. Fody, an 8th round pick of the Mooseheads, 137th overall. He was selected back in 2022. Laval native, but actually plays in Ontario. So Edward Blais now down at the other end of the rink, and a little bit of a warm-up here for Fody. He's going to take a few pucks.
Yeah, so those 3 cuts came after 3 players left camp yesterday. You have that 48-hour mark that always comes into play. Cole Bent tough customer. Got a couple of scraps here in the inter-squad game he left, as well as Nico Ciardello, an American forward. Look, and has scored a really nice goal in the green versus white games, up and under the bar. And so that's, 6 players have left camp, started with 51, as I said earlier. Rousseau and Sprinar yet to arrive. They'll be here at some point. And, it's starting to get cut down. We'll see some more cuts on the way. If not tomorrow, then definitely by Saturday we're going to see, the numbers really start to dwindle here soon. So tonight's a big night, right? You got to make an impression.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, most of the Mooseheads in attendance right now at camp, but still waiting on a couple more bodies right now.
Yeah, exactly. Waiting on those bodies, and but then you look at some of the regulars who we have yet to see in game action, like Brady Schultz, Jack Martin, Logan Crosby, Kilfoyle. We mentioned. There's quite a few of those guys that are going to make up the core of this roster. That look forward to seeing them all together here once camp really gets going and down to the nitty-gritty.
Cheer there. It's announced George Fody now in goal for the Moose. McDonald will get that one across the Halifax blue line. Lincoln Waugh will knock it rink wide. Morissette trying to track it down. Doyle on it first, though, for the Moose. Steered it back of the goal. That'll lead to a little battle, and the Eagles come away with it. Back to Waugh. Lets a shot go. That one sent wide of the net. Now Doyle will mix it up with McDonald. Those two battling. We've seen a bit of each other at the Ellis Cup, which the Sydney Rush hosted. Little centering feed out front. We're going to scramble here. Eagles are on it. Morissette, he's got possession, throws it toward the net. Some traffic in front there. Fody and a chance, and not able to finish in tight. McDonald as he sends that one up and over, and great opportunity right there for Cape Breton.
Just a bit outside on that one for McDonald. He was angry at himself after missing that golden opportunity. He had it, but just lifted it pretty high, and puts the hands on the head and wishes he had that one back.
He's not the best colored guy in the league for nothing, folks. There's Liam Welsh with a little bit of speed coming in down the right wing. He's going to hand that one off to McNabb. McNabb getting it right back. Work toward the point. Brodeur, he'll throw it toward the goal, and that one right into the glove there of Edward Blais. And a 2023 11th rounder hanging on to it for the Eagles. 7:36 left. Not quite the quick pace that we had back in the first period. This one kind of rolling along a little slower than that fast-paced opening frame.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are getting a little choppy here, but you know what? I did like the start of the period for the Mooseheads, and got themselves back in it, and still ahead in shots, 17-13. So they're knocking on the door here.
Eagles still leading 2-1. Mason Cook at the line. He'll partner that one off to McCachran. Sent wide, loose puck in front. Fody, he was down. That puck was kind of sitting there briefly in the blue paint. Mooseheads get into harm's way though, and Welsh back up ice. He'll leave it a shot. An opportunity right there for Olmedo. And now a little wraparound attempt for McNabb. That one denied by Blais. And we have got a whistle. A little break in the action with 6:50 left in the second period. That then slightly knocked ajar right there.
Another look at that save by Fody. Really had to be careful, and gets the big pad out and steers it clear for the Moose. Keeps it a 2-1 game. So that's a good save for him early in his portion of this game.
Eagles in possession off of that face-off. Foley. Put it out to neutralize McKenzie. Tried to settle it. McCachran will just dump that one in. It's off of Suds down toward Fody, and Fody plays it for Suds. Suds, a long pass up ahead there for LaPlante. Once again with the only goal for the Mooseheads. Sends that one high, then batted down by Moser. Good hand-eye on display. Back to the line, a shot. Suds putting one on, stopped. LaPlante putting in work down low now. Look at the pass off. The puck will bounce toward Blais, and Blais cover it up, and he's going to hang on. That's going to lead to a little commotion down around that Cape Breton crease.
Blais getting a little shot in on LaPlante as well, and LaPlante likes to mix it up a little bit. Mosier back there getting into it as well.
Tangled up with Jack Brown with a free agent invite. Little Pond in CBRM. 17-year-old defenseman played with Campbellton last year in Marathon Junior A League.
Yeah, that program's been pumping some good ones out lately. Hear their name at the draft a few times this past summer. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Northern Moose, but a lot of the players from Campbellton area go to play for the Northern Moose.
Some of the best Moosehead staff members come from Campbellton, New Brunswick.
That's right. Travis Kennedy.
Good Campbellton boy, Travis Kennedy. Some Quinn in action, I believe, today. For Rimouski, or was that last night?
Yeah, I believe he was playing his second game today for Rimouski. Quinn Kennedy, of course, the 18-year-old season for the Memorial Cup hosting Rimouski Oceanic. So there's another team that's going to be a good one to deal with this season in the QMJHL. It's Rimouski. You've got Moncton that really want it. Cape Breton's going to be an excellent team. It's going to be some solid.
And then you look at a team, I mean, Yannick Johns, Sags, Chicoutimi, they're a bit of a wagon. They shut there. Nazardine, though, sends it wide. But they were perhaps the best team in the second half of the year last year. Really turned it on. And
young.
They'll have a couple of cracks at it as well. Yeah, they're just getting that, just in the early stages, I guess, of that current cycle. So future pretty bright right there. Shawinigan will be interesting as well. Walters taking that one in offside, and we'll get a little poke and a few words exchanged there with Jack Brown. And Danny Walters will not shy away from that.
Absolutely not. Another name we haven't really talked about tonight so far is a big face, a big part of the Mooseheads' future, picked up in that Marcus Vidicek trade, is Sean Carrier from the Moncton Wildcats. 6th overall in last year's draft, the 2023 draft. He is not a huge guy. He's sturdy, though. He is skilled, he's gritty, he's a digger. He's got to be one of those Lou Felix Denis fan favorite type of players that, he gives 110% every time he's on the ice, so can't wait to see him.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to seeing that. Looking forward to seeing a few other of those vets. You said Owen Phillips.
Yeah, there's a name that I meant to say earlier, too.
This year as well. It's another early pick of the Mooseheads a couple drafts ago, and put on some size last year. Interesting to see him take the next step here this year.
Yeah, he's a smooth skater, and really I think there's kind of an untapped offensive potential there from Owen as well. And puts it all together, he's going to be one of the top guys.
He didn't score a ton last year, but the goals he got were beauties. The first two, just gorgeous highlight reel, coast-to-coast tallies.
It makes me think of those Justin Barron goals, right? Like he didn't score a ton of goals as a member of the Mooseheads, but he would take off and go end-to-end with those beautiful, smooth skating, weaving through traffic type of goals, and that was not far off from what Owen Phillips was able to accomplish a couple of times for the Moose.
Face-off one here by Cape Breton. Lincoln Waugh will hand that one off, and he'll get it right back as he looks up ice. McDonald coming in down that left wing. Hop over Santini. Those two get tangled up. And Suds physical down there in the corner. Again, he's a guy that likes playing that heavy game as well. He's a tough customer. A Sydney native, but played last year his Q draft year with Halifax, the McDonald's. That'll be dumped down to Ward, Fody, and Fody's going to hang on to it as he gets a little traffic down there.
This time of year, captaincy debate always comes up as well. Who could be the captain of this team? And you got to look at some of the leaders that are on their way back, that have been around a while, that carry themselves properly on and off the ice. And two names immediately come to mind, don't they? It's Brady Schultz, it's Braden McPhee. Those have got to be your two options, I would think, going into this season. Both equally deserving and represent the team in the right way.
Well, certainly couldn't go wrong with either one of those guys. This will be carried up ice here by Olmedo, and he's going to get stood up, knocked away, forced back up ice now. Foley hustling after it. Brodor trying to knock it from him. Andrews will rip one. Steered wide, and Rim toward the line there by Doyle, held in, back down low. The Eagles trying to go to work. Handed off, back to the point now for Cook. Cook deferring here to Foley. 3:25 left in the second period. Mooseheads down 2-1. The puck will be gathered up here by Olmedo. He'll coming down that right wing side. Launch one right on. Big rebound. McNabb can't get the shot off though, as he was poked away by Foley. There's a hard pass to Andrews. Low shot, kicked out. Another shot knocked on goal. Fody will leave it there for Brodeur. Brodeur will bank it off the end board, sends it right back, reversing it to McKenzie. Up ahead, that pass into the skates of Welsh, but McNabb will settle it. And a dish off here for Welsh. Can't quite corral that one. Suds trying to keep that one onside for the Mooseheads, unable to do so. Burns applies pressure on McKenzie. Bouncing puck, and we're going to get a whistle there at the Mooseheads blue line as that one gets touched up. 2:39 left in this middle frame. Again, the Moose trailing 2-1.
Kind of interested to see what the decisions are made by these Cape Breton Eagles when it comes to their 20-year-old players. You got to think Jacob Newcomb, a heart and soul guy there. Braden Schmidt's got to be back as a 20, but they've, Olivier Hood, big-time scorer as well. Antoine Waugh could be the guy that's up for grabs.
Chance in front right now. They score. Cade Moser going hard to the net. He's going to knock one home, and the Mooseheads evening it up here with 2:23 left in the second period.
Great for Cade. It's what we wanted to see from him tonight. He gets on the board, goes hard to the net like you said, and picks up the garbage and shoves it home, and that gets a pretty jam-packed crowd here at RBC Center on their feet. We're all tied up at 2, and it's great to see the fans out in full force already, and a great turnout last night at Cape Breton. Got to mention that as well. They had 1,500 fans or so in member 2, so hockey's alive and well in Nova Scotia in August.
Well, no doubt about it. And Cade Moser, mentioned it earlier, maybe just if you look at the ice time compared to the production last year, his goals would be probably right up there. I mean,
absolutely.
With 5, obviously had a ton of ice time throughout the season, his rookie year with the Mooseheads, but guy that came off just a phenomenal season with a Pictou County Weeks U18 program that won its first provincial title in the Nova Scotia U18 Major League in a couple of decades. And he was in the playoffs, but a goal per game player. Just had a phenomenal season there. And the guy that was the real great story out of camp last year, I think really kind of forced his way onto the team with a great showing at camp. And he was the last player the Mooseheads took, a 13th rounder back in 2022. So really earned his spot on the team last year. Yeah,
and you couldn't ask for a better guy to talk to off the ice as well. That goes a long way when you can carry yourself that way.
Well, great kid. It's just one knocked into the Halifax end, and George was over there looking for it. Mooseheads will force it right back out. Cook gets a poke at it. Nazardine in possession now, over to Walters. Walters slowing up, and he takes a heavy hit there from Duhaime, and St. George. That came right at him, but Walters will pop right back up, and likely going to take a number right there.
That's exactly what he did.
Puck sent off the glass, and there's a solid bump on Duhaime as Nazardine laid the body on him. And knocked over with Shaw as Duhaime will put one on. Duhaime making a few enemies out here late in the second period.
And Nazardine going back for more there is really talking it up with Duhaime, who's giving it right back to him. So, hey, love to see the Battle of Nova Scotia going game 2 into the preseason.
That was a solid bump right there as Walter's trying to spin off of it. Missing the boards a little awkwardly. A minute 06 left in this second period. All knotted up at 2. A couple of goals for the Mooseheads here in this second period. Marcus Fermentis LaPlante and Cade Moser.
Justin Breton picking up his second assist on that last goal. Kalen Blake getting in on it as well.
Dominic McKenzie after the loose puck, but time ticking down in the middle frame. In possession now for the Eagles, it's Andrews. Andrews will send it up ahead here for Foley. Broken up by the herd. Fontaine will sweep it out to neutralize. Blake couldn't quite get a handle on that one. McCachran will dump it back in now for Cape Breton, and that one touched up by Fody, leaving it back there for McKenzie. McKenzie, outlet feed up the right wing side. That one skipping over the stick of Fontaine, too hot to handle, and trying again, but Santini kind of lost it there. Bell punches it across offside, so another whistle. 19.6 now remaining here in this second period.
Overall, a good period for the Mooseheads. They come back to tie it so far, 2-2 with 19 seconds left after being down 2-0 after the first 20 minutes. So got to deem that a success and see what happens here in the third.
Bell and George getting tangled up there off the draw. Lincoln Waugh will partner that one off. It's off of Burns' stick out the center. Olmedo back there for George. George back out to neutralize, and Griffin, maybe one last bump there, trying to get a hold of Olmedo, but time will tick away in the second period. And you're all even heading into the third. The goals back in the first from Derek Andrews and Grady Burns for the Eagles. Mooseheads answer back with a pair of their own here in the second period. Memphis LaPlante from Justin Breton, 3:17, and then at 17:30, Cade Moser, one of the few returnees in the lineup for the Mooseheads, getting his first of the preseason. Breton with another assist. Kalen Blake with his first preseason point for the Moose. So all tied up heading into the third. We will have that for you in a few minutes. We'll take a break here. You're watching the Mooseheads training camp presented by Good Life Fitness on the official YouTube channel of the Halifax Mooseheads. 16:42 left in this third period. Mooseheads up 3-2. Breton will rim one around. Puck ending up down there in the corner. Moser tracks it down, tries to center it out front. Quinn got a stick on it. And now Moser back here for Suds. Suds handing it off to McKenzie.
Nice move by McKenzie on the line there, and gets a clean shot on. McNabb with that goal just a minute 39 into the third period. Kalen Blake and Jamison George with the helpers on that one. Apologies as we are having a few little technical difficulties. We'll get G back on the call here, just to switch out some headsets. McKenzie goes back for the puck and beats his man and clears it over the blue line, back into neutral zone for the Moose. Now it's Duhaime, dumps it over the line and up over the head of George Fody, still in goal after coming in midway through the game. It's Walters and McKenzie knocking it loose for the Moose. Now Suds clears it away. Another one of those Halifax Max draft picks from this past summer. Suds also not a bad singer-songwriter. You might see that on Instagram. He's in their Instagram page. You can play some guitar if you like the Noah Kahn style of music. That's right up Suds' alley.
We might be back, maybe not. Check, check, check. And you got me here? There we go. Okay. I think we're back. So, a few technical issues here, I believe. Those have been sorted out. Scotty, you are now hearing me okay?
You are great.
Perfect. Sure, very balanced here. So, penalty coming up to the Mooseheads, and it's be a Cape Breton power play as Danny Walters makes another trip to the penalty box. 15:06 left in this third period. Off of this face-off. Eagles will control. Lincoln Waugh at the line. Takes a look. He'll hand off now to Hartland. That one down low. Hartland will get it right back. Back to Lincoln Waugh here, center point. Let's one rip, and that was blocked. It'll pop out to neutralize. And now Hartland is going to get this back across the Mooseheads blue line down toward the corner. Doyle stepping up on him. Moose are able to clear it away. Antoine Fontaine will give chase down there. 14:25 left in this third period. Pass there. That one intended for Morissette. It'll skip over his stick, so that will be an icy call on this power play to the Eagles. Face-off coming up back down in the Cape Breton end.
Mooseheads ahead in shots, 27-19 in this one. So, plenty of shots on goal tonight compared to one night earlier in Cape Breton. The Herd have ramped things up a little bit offensively and looking for more after going ahead on that Patrick McNabb goal early in this period.
Kalen Blake will take that face-off. And Eagles have got possession off the draw. Hartland on it here for Cape Breton. Dished off to Waugh. Puck will be carried up ahead now by Waugh. Turned over at the Mooseheads blue line. Blake forces it back out. It's going to be Waugh back after it down on his own end. Eric Andrews, he got the scoring started. Little twisted up there with Gavin Suds just inside the Mooseheads blue line. Again, cleared out. This out to play it, Edward Blay.
Pretty good PK here for the Herd as they have just 16 seconds left to kill one off.
And a little centering feed in tight, and big time save right there. So that one will be launched back out. Rink-wide pass. Griffin tries to center it, and again, it's going to be George Fody. He's going to deny hope. All right, now Liam Welsh making his way back up ice for the Mooseheads, trying to get a pass off, and taking some abuse there was McNabb, who drove hard to the net, got knocked over, and he's in a little bit of distress right there. So some help coming from Melanie Landry, Mooseheads athletic therapist. This Patrick McNabb roughed up on his way to the net.
It's tough to see him go down, obviously having a great night as well, and you don't want to see that happen at any point, but things were going so well for McNabb, but he's up on his knees before Melanie Landry gets there, and I think he's going to be okay, but still a scary moment for him.
And he looks to be leaking pretty good down there, so some repairs needed for Patrick McNabb, like you said. Solid camp so far, solid here tonight for the Mooseheads. So not something you like to see at all. Back up there. There is steam, own power.
We'll head off, but tough customer to get up there and get off on his own. As you see, it's a bit of a mess down there on the ice, but hey, it's been a good night for Patrick McNabb, and hopefully takes the positives out of this one.
So McNabb makes his way to the Mooseheads dressing room. The officials will try to fix the ice up down there, like you said. That will need to be addressed. So the Moose right now with Moser on the ice. Justin Breton out here. Mathis LaPlante as well. He's been good. Goals back-to-back games for Mathis LaPlante. Scored the lone goal last night in that 3-1 loss to Cape Breton in member 2. So Breton will take this face-off again, flanked by Moser and LaPlante. And Eddie Doyle on the back end, along with Jamison George, a couple of guys that, as we mentioned earlier, did draw to the Mooseheads lineup last season. Special night for Jamison George last December. That was when the Moose had quite a few guys off at that World Junior Training Camp. They were short some bodies, and got to make his Mooseheads debut, his Q debut. In St. John.
Yeah,
basically hometown rink for him, Rothsay boys. So that was obviously a pretty cool moment for him and his family.
Absolutely, he plays, played Rothsay Netherwood School as well. Great career there, and a kid that's really come in and done everything asked of him last year and again this year, and one that the Mooseheads love to have in this organization. Somebody that's always knocking on the door and ready to go. So. He's a valuable piece. And he's got an assist in this game, so that's also great for him. Looks like the ice scraping just about done here. The ref's kind of taking care of some business with some of the blood that had dripped from Patrick McNabb in behind the net. They've got that cleaned up and ready to go yet again.
And we're just about set here. So, yeah, Breton here to take the face off that draw. It'll be Griffin pouncing on it. He'll dump it down into the Mooseheads into the rink as George got a little poke at it. Bouncing puck here. It's going to be settled by LaPlante. Trying to slip it back over for Moser. Eddie Doyle will guide it up ahead and place that one deep into the Cape Breton end. LaPlante getting down there on the forecheck. Breton's pass that was off the skates of the official, popped right out, and the Eagles will pounce on it. Dumped in. Griffin trying to get down there on the forecheck. Now Jamison George off the glass. Line not held there by the Eagles. Moose force it out. Breton with it. Leaving it here for Moser. Lets one rip, looking for another one. Fires one right on, and that one steered aside as Edward Blay got a piece of it. Back to Gavin Suds at the point. Gonna work that one down the boards. Wall sealed, shoveled up high by Grady Burns, and Morissette tried to track it down, but the Mooseheads are on it first. And now Moser Over to LaPlante. Not this LaPlante. Getting a cross red. Dumps that one in. He'll turn for a change. Alec Nazardine out here on this top line along with Jordan Shaw. Danny Walters. 11th player taken in the last Q draft. Tossed toward the net. Going off a stick. Shaw up ahead here for Walters. Trying to settle it. Knocked away from him. He's going to apply a little bit of pressure down there on Quinn, who pulls up. Now Quinn with the long pass up ahead. That puck will deflect into the Mooseheads end. Brodeur off the wall. Up ahead for Nazardine. Over to Shaw. Shaw coming in down that right wing side. Tries to slip some contact. Play it back to Brodeur. Over now to George. Lets it go. Loose puck there in the blue paint. That one poked away by the Cape Breton netminder Blais. Fired back down at the Mooseheads territory.
Great job by Blais just to shovel that one out of danger.
Jamison George taking his time now. Off the end boards. Foley. No pounce on it. Throws it toward the front of the net. That one deflecting wide. Nazardine spins and sends that back down to the Cape Breton end of the rink. Cook on it. Will play it around for McCachran. Chops it out to neutral ice. And I think Hartland will dump it in deep. Santini now in possession. He's going to send one cross ice. McKenzie rimming it down low. Santini lost control of it. Eddie Doyle. Looked like it was going to pop back to him. Bit of a blind spot down there for us. Eagles will get it back. It's Riley Creelman stopping back at the Cape Breton goal. Brown will dump it in. Dominic McKenzie heads after it now for the Mooseheads. Pile up down there in the corner. And everyone trying to fish this one free. It's going to be Kalen Blake coming away with control. Blake down the left wing. Corner Brook, Newfoundland native. Trying to center one. We'll just get knocked back of the net. Sticks coming up there. Is Dominic McKenzie involved. A little tangled up with Luke Foley. Cleared out to neutral ice. Suds will angle it off the boards. Loose puck pounced on now by Breton. He's got some speed driving in. Threw it toward the goal. Now back to Suds at the line. Trying to zip one across, but it was sent offside. George backing off. Knocked wide of the Mooseheads net. 8:20 left here in this third period. Mooseheads with the only goal so far in this third period. Again, that was Patrick McNabb. Got injured a few shifts back. Quinn just dumped that one into the Halifax end.
Justin Breton, definitely someone who stood out tonight. 2 assists and had a chance there at a third point just a little bit earlier, and has played well defensively as well.
He's looked good here this evening. Danny Walters launches one toward the goal. Welsh over there getting physical along the half wall. Quinn, he will hand that one off. Cleared out. Croswell will knock it down. He's going to knock it in deep now as Suds back after it. Evan Suds up the left wing. Danny Walters, he's going to drive this one across the line and has it stripped away from him, and now back up ice in transition. The Eagles on the attack. Not much going there though, as Mooseheads are able to kill that one. Brodeur going to freeze it up along the corner boards. Walters trying to protect the puck down here in his own end. Up ahead, LaPlante bumps it over to Welsh. Back to LaPlante. LaPlante, he's going to leave this one for McKenzie. McKenzie toward the net. Little redirect there as Welsh taking a tip on it in tight. They making the save, and the Eagles get it across the line. Line held by McKenzie. Santini for McKenzie. Back to Brodeur. Up ahead off the stick of Moser, but not in deep. And into a little neutral zone battle as Santini needs to settle this one. Carries it up ahead, takes some contact there, absorbed it, but that'll be carried in offside, and we'll get a whistle with 6:11 remaining here in this third period.
Offside, but some slick moves there from Santini as he danced around a couple of players. See the chance here, McKenzie putting it on net. Welsh right in there in the kitchen of play. Doesn't make things happen, but good effort there from Welshie. And Mathis LaPlante, 2 goals so far in the preseason. Another player that's had a great game tonight, stood out, and again, brings some of that size and strength that this team could really use.
Jameson George taking a little contact over there, and right in front of the Cape Breton bench. That was Maverick Duhaime who got a little piece of him. We saw him involved with Danny Walters a little earlier on.
Yeah, Duhaime mixing it up with Nazardine as well. He's made all kinds of enemies tonight.
Malcolm McDonald looking to send one around. Nazardine gets a stick on it to try to get something going here. Jams on the break. Some help from Fontaine. Back to Nazardine. Nazardine's some good work down here in the corner. Shaw trying to help out as well. With a few sticks poking away at that one. It does pop loose. Shaw trying to keep with it. Fontaine into support. He'll step out with it. Lets a shot go. Trying to pick a corner right there. And that one fought off by Blake. Doyle, he'll knock it over here in the direction of Shaw. Shaw physical in front of the Cape Breton bench. Throwing his weight around.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of players right now for this scouting staff to consider, because they're all showing things in their own unique way, and so there will be some tough decisions for sure. And he's one of them, throwing his name in the hat.
Good season, as we said, with Kensington, the only free agent invite in the Mooseheads lineup here this evening. We'll have quite a few spread throughout, but lots of Kensington representation on both rosters here tonight. Halifax McDonald's, as we've noted quite a few times, pretty well represented. The Cape Breton West Islanders, the U18 programs across the Maritime, certainly pretty strong.
Yeah, the Wild have had some good teams, very good teams in the past little while. We often talked about the Moncton Flyers as well, how many they've churned out in the past number of years. So there's some solid programs in all of these Atlantic provinces.
No hope on it here for the Cape Breton Eagles. Played last year with the Yarmouth Mariners in the Maritime Junior A League. Veteran of the South Shore Mustangs program. There's a battle down here in the corner, and worked up the boards as Dominic McKenzie will collect it. He tries to clear it out. Shoveled high. Bouncy puck out there at neutralized. Quinn pouncing on it. Gets the stick on it. Stripped away though by Blake. And Kalen Blake back the other way now for the Mooseheads. There's his shot, and it's off of Lincoln Waugh up and out of play.
Kalen Blake got an assist tonight. You can see the hands on display. He's got that offensive flair, that offensive talent, and it's going to be something that the Mooseheads are really looking to. The future of this team with him on the forward ranks is for sure. He was like I said earlier, regarded as a first-round pick. They get him early in the second round, or not too early, I guess, 32nd overall, and they were over the moon with being able to take him at that spot.
There's a shot from Griffin. That puck sent wide. Welsh will kind of work that one up ahead. Burns got a little stick on it, but the Moose are able to force it across the line. Now Walters reaching for it. Knocked away from him. Brodeur. He'll send it wide of the net. Welsh throwing it in front. Walters with a chance. It wanted an opportunity in tight there for Danny Walters.
Yeah, he knew it too. Looked skyward after that one.
Look at a battle down here behind the Cape Breton net. Eagles trying to work this one out. And Brodeur will hand off now for George. Winding up with it, Antoine Fontaine. Hard pass there for Shaw. Jordan Shaw Accelerating up ice. Fontaine there to help out. Just kind of force that one down over the corner. McDonald breaks it up for Cape Breton, and McDonald trying to take it back the other way. Gotta say it would be wonderful. If one request for the Eagles, I would love to see the black numbers return. Some black numbers would be beautiful here on these white
eyes
sweaters.
aren't what they used to be, folks.
You get the nice black name bars. It's anyway. A solid start, you and I, to this game, but our preseason form maybe showing right now. A little bit of rust as the Eagles will send this one in. McKenzie back of the net, left for Doyle. He'll play it up that right side. Moser will hand it off, and Doyle will play it across here for McKenzie, jumping up, leading the rush. The attack up ice, down over the corner. Quinn pressing him. And Eagles can't clear it out past Santini. A poke in tight there. Moser got a little redirect, and that was right there on the doorstep. Unable to finish, though, but another chance there for Cade Moser.
Yeah, get a couple of whacks at potentially getting his second. It was right there. Just tough one to get the stick on.
Hartland will send this one down into the Mooseheads end. George trying to hand off there for Suds. Battle back behind the Halifax goal with exactly a minute to go. Mooseheads hanging on to this 3-2 lead, but the Eagles not going away right now without a fight. And Fody, he was tested right there as and that now vacant for the Eagles. Extra attacker out there, and needs some extra help here with this little skirmish down beside the net.
Yeah, no. Big test once again for George Fody. He's come up aces so far in this game for the Herd. A perfect 10 for 10 in saves right now and shots against. And there's another look at that Moser chance. Just a bouncing puck, hard to get a stick on, but great work by him and Santini on that play.
So we got 54.4 seconds remaining here in this third period. Eagles with the first two goals of the opening period, but Mooseheads with three unanswered since then to take the lead. Breton taking a timeout right now. Looking for a solution to George Fody, who has been perfect since coming into this one.
Yeah, he's been very good.
All 10 shots that have come his way.
Absolutely, and speaking of shots, the Mooseheads with 35 on the board. Impressive number. It's something, it was a bit of a struggle last year to see those high shot totals. It was regarded by many as a one-line team, and when that one line wasn't clicking, then it was tough to come by. And this year Mooseheads not expected to score a ton of goals, but what they do expect and what they expect from within is that hard-working, scrappy effort. They want to be the team that nobody wants to come play, be miserable for your opponent, and that's how they're going to find ways to squeak out wins. And even if the wins aren't coming, they still want to come away with those positive efforts and make teams remember them next time, and know that it's not going to be easy to come into Halifax and play the Mooseheads. So that's something to look forward to this year, and something to keep an eye on to see if that mold comes true.
Now Walters on the attack. It's just driving the net right there. Hard shot. To the side is McKenzie. After it out at neutral ice. Sends that one back down. In off stick of Walters. Quinn will gather it up here for the Eagles. Outlet feed up the left wing side. And netminder to the bench right now. So extra attacker on the ice for Cape Breton. A vacant goal, 20 seconds left, battle at neutral ice. Quinn, he's got it over to Waugh, up ahead. That one chipped in, time ticking down here for Cape Breton. McKenzie heads after, trying to freeze it up, but it gets knocked away. Loose puck now, Breton off the glass, and that's going to get past Waugh, and that is going to do it. The Mooseheads, they're going to hang on for the 3-2 win here tonight and their first victory of the preseason.
They get it done. Patrick McNabb with the game winner early in the third period. They come all the way back from that 2-0 deficit to score 3 consecutive goals, 2 in the second and 1 here in the third, and the Moose pick up the win. And we'll do it again on Friday night, and the Moncton Wildcats come to town to take on your Halifax Mooseheads.
And you can catch that game right here.
Absolutely. We'll be right here
with YouTube channel.
That's right. So your scoring summary from this evening. you said, the Cape Breton Eagles opened things up with 2 goals in the first period from Derek Andrews and Grady Burns at 15:33 and 17:16. Assists to Owen Bell, Carson Griffith, Jacob Hartland, and Lincoln Waugh. And then it was all Mooseheads. Mathis LaPlante gets the Moose on the board with his second in as many nights. Justin Breton, the assist on that one. 3:17 into the second period. Then Cade Mosier ties it up from Dominic McKenzie, and Breton again with another assist at 17:30 of the second. And as we mentioned, Patrick McNabb, the game-winning goal from Kalen Blake, Jamison George, 1:39 into the third period. That's your scoring summary, and the Mooseheads come away with the win, Gareth.
And Patrick McNabb, perhaps with a scar or two, but he does have his first game-winning goal here in the queue.
Yeah, and we'll assess him after the game and see what happens, but he was roughed up there on the end boards and had to leave under his own power, thankfully, and probably had to get stitched up a little bit, but we'll check on him after the game and see what his status is. And for now, the Mooseheads will practice tomorrow, back at it here on home ice Friday night against the mighty Moncton Wildcats.
Our first look at the Moncton Wildcats this year, 7 p.m. puck drop on Friday. As Scotty said, you can catch that game right here on the official YouTube channel of the Halifax Mooseheads. One more time, a 3-2 final here this evening in Dartmouth. The Mooseheads victorious, 1-1 now in the preseason. I want to thank everyone who tuned in here tonight. For Scott McIntosh, my name is Gareth McDonald. Good night from the RBC Center here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.